We've all felt the weight of the fear of failure, haven't we? It's a common feeling that many people experience throughout life. The fear of making mistakes can be paralyzing, causing us to stop trying or even preventing us from moving forward at crucial moments. But here's the point: failure is not the end of the road. In fact, it is often the beginning of something great, something transformative. If you're here because you feel this fear, or if you've ever found yourself questioning your choices and the possibility of failure, know that you are not alone. The important thing is to understand that failure is universal, and those who face it with courage are the ones who grow and evolve. Now imagine if you could change your perspective on failure. What if, instead of running from it, you saw it as a learning opportunity, a chance for growth? This is precisely what Stoic philosophy teaches us: the art of seeing failure not as an obstacle, but as a stepping stone to wisdom and personal evolution. What is failure after all? To the Stoics, failure is not something to be feared or avoided at all costs. In the Stoic view, failure is not an absolute defeat, but a natural part of life. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "Difficulty is the greatest teacher of virtue." For him, challenges, setbacks, and even mistakes have a purpose: to teach us to be stronger, wiser, and more resilient. But what truly makes failure an opportunity? For the Stoics, the secret lies in how we react to it. What is beyond our control should not shake us. When something doesn't go as planned, frustration is natural, but our response to this event defines our journey. Accepting that we cannot control what happens around us, but can control how we react, is one of the most powerful lessons Stoic philosophy offers. Let's pause and reflect for a moment. How many times have you felt devastated by something that went wrong? What did you do afterward? Did you let frustration consume you, or did you learn something valuable from the experience? Here is the key to Stoicism. There is no such thing as permanent failure, only an opportunity to adjust our attitude and learn. The philosopher Epictetus, for example, believed that our thoughts and emotions are the only things we truly own. If something doesn't go as expected, it is not the end of the world. Failure does not determine our worth. It simply teaches us how to do better next time. The key to transforming the fear of failure into something positive lies in our mindset. What happens when we change the way we see failure? Instead of viewing it as an insurmountable obstacle, we begin to see it as an opportunity for growth. Imagine the following situation. You try something new, a major project, a life change, but suddenly everything seems to fall apart. What do you feel? Frustration, sadness, anger? These feelings are natural, but they can be overcome. What the Stoics teach us is that when something goes wrong, what truly matters is our attitude toward it. Instead of lamenting failure, we can use that moment to reflect and learn. Take the example of Thomas Edison, the inventor of the electric light bulb. He was asked about his many failures throughout his attempts. His response was simple: "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." He saw each failure as a learning opportunity, as one step closer to success. The Stoics believed that we should strive for precision in our efforts, rather than focusing exclusively on the outcome. Life is uncertain and unpredictable, and often things do not go as planned. But that doesn't mean we are failing. It means we have more to learn, more to grow, and more to improve. When we shift our perspective, failure ceases to be something to avoid and becomes an essential step on the path to excellence. If instead of running from the fear of failure, we choose to face it with courage and an open mind, we will be better prepared to grow. So, the next time failure knocks on your door, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve and do better next time? This mindset shift is the first step to transforming fear into something that truly drives your growth. Now let's talk about something that affects all of us: how the fear of failure can actually trap us and prevent us from achieving what we desire. Often, the fear of making mistakes is so paralyzing that we prefer not to try rather than face the risk of failure. This is a common mistake, but in Stoic philosophy, learning to deal with fear is essential for achieving true freedom and personal growth. One of the biggest mistakes we make is believing that failure defines who we are. We think that if we fail, our identity will be tarnished and our dignity will be compromised. This kind of thinking is a trap. The Stoics teach that what truly matters is not the final result, but the effort we put into each attempt and our ability to move forward, even when things don't go as planned. Have you ever found yourself hesitating before making an important decision out of fear of making a mistake? Or perhaps you gave up on something that could have changed your life simply because you were afraid to fail. This is more common than we imagine. The fear of failure creates a vicious cycle. The more we try to avoid failure, the more it prevents us from even trying. The solution? Changing the way we react to this fear. The Stoics propose a simple but powerful approach: act with courage and acceptance. If we fail, let it be with dignity, knowing that making mistakes is part of the journey. When we accept that failure is part of life, we open space for success because we become more willing to try, learn, and improve each time. Epictetus, once again, offers wisdom here. He reminds us that we cannot control what happens to us, but we can control our response to it. And by responding with courage, patience, and a willingness to learn, we turn fear into a tool for success instead of letting it paralyze us. So, the next time you feel the fear of failure creeping in, remember, you have the power to choose how to respond to it. By using this experience as an opportunity for growth, you'll be on the right path. One of the greatest legacies of Stoicism is undoubtedly persistence in the face of difficulties. The Stoics believed that true success doesn't come from avoiding failures, but from continuing to try, even when everything seems to be against us. Persistence is the virtue that turns every fall into a lesson and every mistake into an opportunity to do better next time. Imagine you are on a journey and suddenly something goes wrong. The path becomes dark and difficult, and the obstacles in your way seem insurmountable. At that moment, the urge to give up is strong, and the fear of failure starts taking over your mind. However, Stoicism teaches us not to let these obstacles define or stop us. Instead, we must keep going, even when we cannot see the end of the road, because it is in persistence that true strength is forged. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, remind us that we cannot control the challenges that arise in our path, but we can always choose how to respond to them. Persistence is not just about doing the same thing repeatedly. It's about adapting, learning, and adjusting your approach while staying focused on what truly matters. When we persist, it's not because we are ignoring failures, but because we understand that they are part of the process. Persistence teaches us that every mistake is an opportunity to refine our strategy and our approach until we find the right solution. The greatest philosophers, leaders, and inventors in history did not reach the top without facing failures. They were not immune to failure. They simply persisted, and with each setback they became stronger and wiser. Throughout our journey, failure will be inevitable. It will appear at unexpected moments, perhaps even catching us off guard. But instead of fearing failure, we should embrace it as a fundamental part of our growth. As we've seen, Stoicism teaches that failure does not define who we are, but how we react to it is what truly matters. It takes courage to face the fear of failure, and it is in accepting this fear that we find true freedom. There is no growth without challenges, and there is no overcoming without mistakes. The key is not to let them paralyze us, but to see every failure as a chance to learn, evolve, and become stronger. Finally, always remember that failure is not the end of the road, but a necessary step toward lasting success. By adopting this mindset, we can face every difficulty as an opportunity for personal and spiritual growth. So, the next time the fear of failure arises, don't hold back. Move forward, learn from every experience, and continue improving, because that's how a life of true greatness is built. Remember, every step, every mistake, every attempt is part of your path to success. Let's walk this journey together.